We got a black president. Are we going back to Mantan Moreland and sleep and eat? But I still think there a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.
I will punch the hell out of you. Say something else.
That is my answer to Spike Lee. Go to hell.
I will punch the hell out of you.
So, here's a question. Why aren't A-list black actors jumping into Tyler Perry movies? You'd think with Perry's insane Hollywood power and a budget that could probably buy a small island, we'd see top-tier talent all over his films. But nope, not really. What's going on there? Let's not forget, Perry's rise to fame is nothing short of mind-blowing. The guy went from being homeless to rolling in millions, with a jet and one of the biggest movie studios in the US. If anything, his own life is the real blockbuster. But instead, we keep getting the same old Medea routine. Perry in a wig and a dress, playing pretty much the same character over and over. No hate, but come on, where's the fresh content? Even big-time directors like Spike Lee have thrown shade, and they aren't wrong for asking the same thing.
I'm a huge basketball fan, and when I watch the games on TNT, I see these two ads for these two shows, and I'm scratching my head.
Spike Lee rolls with the heavy hitters like Wesley Snipes, Denzel Washington, and Samuel L. Jackson. So when he speaks up, it's hard to ignore. It's no secret that Spike and Tyler Perry have had some serious drama over the years. Even though they're both big names in black cinema, their approaches couldn't be more opposite. Their beef blew up back in 2009 when Spike went all in, dragging Perry's shows and movies. He straight up called them out for pushing coonery and buffoonery, basically saying Perry was feeding into negative black stereotypes. Spike didn't hold back in one particular interview. He compared Perry's content to the stereotypical trash you'd see on what he called the idiot box. Ouch, that's a low blow for TV.
But I still think there a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.
Spike isn't exactly vibing with the way Perry's movies are painting the picture. He's called out Perry for chasing clout by playing into harmful stereotypes, saying that's not cool, no matter how big Perry's empire is. And honestly, a lot of people are with Spike on this. They think Perry's style of comedy often just rehashes tired and basic views of black life. Sure, Perry's making bank and creating jobs, but critics say that doesn't make it okay to keep pushing those stereotypes. It's like saying that just because a shady business is tossing some cash around, it makes their shady practices totally fine. Making money doesn't automatically mean what you're doing is good for the community.
And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better.
On the flip side, Spike Lee is all about celebrating black culture without leaning on tired cliches. His movies might not always hit it big at the box office, but he's proud of the stories he tells. For Spike, it's about showing real love and respect through his work. But Perry wasn't about to let Spike's criticism slide. When Perry was on 60 Minutes in 2009, he went off on Spike. He was fed up and let it all out, saying he was sick of hearing Spike's name and that he could go straight to hell. Perry didn't hold back, calling out Spike and other big names like Oprah and Clint Eastwood, telling Spike to keep his opinions to himself.
I will punch the hell out of you. Say something else.
That is my answer to Spike Lee. Go to hell.
I will punch the hell out of you.
Even though Perry clapped back hard, some fans weren't having it. They pointed out real issues with Perry's movies, like the way they often rely on over-the-top stereotypes and dramatizations of black lives.
We got a black president. Are we going back to Mantan Moreland and sleep and eat?
Even though Tyler Perry's movies are totally killing it at the box office, there's some serious behind-the-scenes tea. People are buzzing about what goes down on his sets, with whispers of a sketchy work environment, rumors of mandatory religious stuff, and questions about his stance on LGBTQ+ issues. And here's the kicker. Folks have also noticed that dark-skinned black men often get stuck playing the villains in his flicks. These complaints aren't just random grumbling, even the industry's in on the tea. Chris Rock's been throwing shade at Perry's casting choices, saying you barely see any decent, respectful, dark-skinned boyfriends in his movies. Chris even joked that if Tupac were still around, he'd probably be cast as the villain in a Tyler Perry flick. According to Chris, Perry's movies don't always show the full, diverse experience of black life. Cultural critic Jamila Lemieux didn't hold back either. She let loose in an open letter to Tyler Perry published by NPR. Lemieux called Perry out for leaning on stereotypes, especially through his Medea character. She argued that the cherished matriarch in the black community deserves way more respect than being played by a 6'3" dude in a wig with fake breasts. In her words, our mothers and grandmothers deserve way better, and honestly, so do our fathers and grandfathers. Lemieux gave Perry props for telling Hollywood's old guard to take a hike, but she also pointed out that a lot of black folks share the same beef with his work as white critics do. Lemieux's point is clear. While Perry might be sticking it to Hollywood, he's also reinforcing some pretty harmful stereotypes about the black community. Chris and Lemieux, among others, are calling out Perry for casting choices that seem stuck in outdated biases. They're questioning how this impacts the film industry and black characters on screen. This issue of colorism and stereotyping has been a mess in Hollywood for ages. Hollywood's been under intense scrutiny lately. After Harvey Weinstein's scandal in 2017, a new doc exposed more dark side of Hollywood, and the Me Too movement has rocked the industry with scandals. Kevin Hart stepped down from hosting the Oscars in 2019 over old tweets, and the Number Oscars So White campaign is still pushing for better diversity.
Comedian Kevin Hart is stepping down as Oscars host. He made the announcement on Twitter Thursday night, just 2 days after he was chosen for the role.
Once a dream destination, Hollywood now seems like a mess. The Hollywood Walk of Fame, once a symbol of success, now feels like a walk of shame, especially with all the fallen stars. Throwback to the 1940s, when Hattie McDaniel made history as the first black woman to win an Oscar for Gone with the Wind. Instead of celebrating, she was forced to sit at a separate table, a stark reminder of the deep-rooted racial discrimination in Hollywood and beyond. Fast forward 80 years, and you'd think Hollywood would have sorted itself out by now, but nope, it's still stuck on the same old issues. There's a lot of talk about diversity and inclusion, but the actions often fall short. Take the 2020 Oscars. Racial controversies were practically expected. And don't even get me started on Lupita Nyong'o getting snubbed for her role in Us in 2019. That one still hurts.
There was a girl, and the girl.
If you're a dark-skinned black actor in his movies, you're often cast as a villain or a negative character. Like Steve Harris in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, playing a lawyer who's a nightmare of a husband. It's a pattern that shows up a lot in Perry's work.
All of this, and you're still the same.
I'm Charles McCarter. I'm gonna die Charles McCarter.
Blair Underwood, a veteran in the industry, shared how back in the 80s, black actors had few roles and faced constant competition. Even with stars like Underwood and Denzel Washington making a splash, things didn't change much. Other actors like Philip Van Leer and Ion Overman have played villains in Perry's films, reinforcing this trend. Critics argue that Perry's portrayals often stick to harmful stereotypes. Even in his show Bruh, where 4 black men are shown as a close-knit group, there's chatter that these portrayals still don't fully represent the diversity of black experiences.
This is what I'm talking about.
Why she always touching me?
Man, that is nasty.
Next up is Sisters. Instead of focusing on the usual drama, it's all about 4 single black women navigating life, love, and everything in between. The tagline, "Single but never solo," hints at their personal journeys and how they support each other.
You make me feel like no other. Maybe in return, I'ma show you more.
The show's promo often features the women solo, not as a group. It's a small detail, but it kind of suggests they're on their own individual paths. Still, Sisters promises a deeper look into their dating lives, careers, and friendships, aiming for a richer portrayal of black women compared to some of Perry's earlier work. Perry's movies always stir up buzz on social media, especially on X. People have mixed feelings about how he portrays black women, particularly around relationship drama and struggles with men. Critics say Perry focuses too much on the hardships women face because of men, making his movies seem repetitive. But others argue he's just spotlighting real issues that resonate with many viewers. Then there's Medea, Perry's iconic comedic character. While Medea's hilarious, some folks think there's more going on behind the laughs. Dave Chappelle, for one, has strong opinions on this. On Oprah's show, Chappelle questioned why so many black actors end up in dresses in movies. He shared a story about a time when he was supposed to wear a dress for a scene where his character escapes from jail as a He wasn't buying the excuse that it was just a funny bit, standing firm that he didn't need to wear a dress to be funny. They eventually ditched the dress scene and came up with something new. Chappelle couldn't help but wonder why they were so obsessed with him in a dress. For Chappelle, it was about more than just the dress. He saw it as part of a bigger problem in Hollywood where black artists are often hit with demeaning or pointless demands. He realized he wasn't the only one dealing with this. It's a common struggle for many black actors. This was a big wake-up call about the industry's pressures. But here's the catch. Perry's also facing some drama. There are rumors he might not be as supportive of other black creatives as he makes it seem. For example, he reportedly fired several writers from House of Pain after they asked for fair contracts, even though the show was a hit. Perry allegedly wasn't up for negotiating fair pay, which caused a lot of backlash. Terry Brown Jackson, one of the fired writers, was pretty heated, saying, "It felt like a slap in the face. They helped make the show a success, but when it came to fair pay, Perry let them go unless we took a terrible offer." Kelly Griffin, another writer, hoped this mess would help future black writers get better treatment. Perry also had issues with actor unions in 2015, who banned their members from his play Medea on the Run because he wouldn't sign union contracts. So, while Perry's built a massive empire and is a big Hollywood player, his reputation for fair treatment hasn't always matched his success.